Hey everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day, and it's December. When did this happen? I looked back at my channel and I saw that I only posted one video in the month of November, and I only posted 2 videos in October. Yep. Clearly I got this YouTube thing down. But anyway, the day I'm recording this is December 6th, which means that Thanksgiving break was like 2 weeks ago. But here I am reviewing Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I haven't seen a movie in a movie theater in so long, like not since I came to college, which makes me really sad because I love going to the movie theater and I love watching movies. But I was home for Thanksgiving break and I got to see Fantastic Beasts with one of my favorite people, and now I'm going to talk about it. For those who don't know, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is the first film in a series of 5 films written by J.K. Rowling, and this entire series is a prequel to the Harry Potter series. Yeah. It's set in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, so, you know, the magic is the same and the spells are the same, but the physical location is different. The first film is set in New York in the 1920s. The series follows Newt Scamander, who is a magizoologist and the author of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I guess his job is to explore the world and research magical creatures so that he can write about them for his book. So I was very apprehensive about Fantastic Beasts. I'd heard mixed things about it before going into it, and I knew a lot of people were upset about Johnny Depp being cast as one of the main characters in the series, so I had a feeling that I really wasn't going to like it, and maybe it was because my expectations were so low, but I actually really liked it. I found myself enjoying the movie a lot. So yeah, I'm not gonna hide the fact that I enjoyed it. I thought it looked good. I thought the story was good. I liked the introduction of these new characters, and I really like the characters that we're following in this series. And I don't think it was a perfect movie, but I do think that it was a good movie. It's both easy and hard to compare this to the original Harry Potter series. Obviously, it's in the same magical world, so that's constant, but it doesn't feel like a Harry Potter movie to me. I mean, it plays by the same rules, but everything else is different. I think that's a good thing. I think if it had been too similar to the original Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling would have gotten a lot of flack for it. It's just similar enough to make you feel like you're still in the same world, and maybe similar enough so that some viewers might feel like a small seed of nostalgia, but I think it's original enough to see this series as its own story. I thought Newt Scamander was a great character. I think he's interesting enough to want to follow for a series of 5 films, but I do wish that we got to see more of his backstory because I still feel like I don't know that much about him. Admittedly, my love for Newt might stem from the fact that I love Eddie Redmayne. I love Eddie Redmayne so much. If y'all don't know, this is kind of irrelevant, but my favorite movie of all time is Les Mis from 2012, the one directed by Tom Hooper, and guess who's in that? Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne plays Marius in that movie, and literally since I saw that, I just fell in love with Eddie Redmayne. And then I saw him in The Theory of Everything, which I loved, and I loved him in it, and like pretty sure he won an Oscar for that. He was just great. So like, I love Eddie Redmayne, and that could definitely be a reason why I love Newt. However, I'm not scared to admit that Eddie mumbles so many of his lines in this movie. So many of them. And his mumbling combined with his accent make him less than ideal to understand. There were times when I was watching this movie and like the volume in the movie theater is an acceptable, normal level for a movie, but he'll say his line and I'll be like, what did he just say? So that was a little bit of an issue. But anyway, I thought this first movie was pretty exciting, and I'm pretty pumped to see how the story is going to expand. I think there's just so much potential in this storyline, and the fact that it's a prequel to Harry Potter feels like it's building up to something big. I'm excited to see whether we'll get explanations of things that we already know from the original Harry Potter series. Like, I wonder if as we watch these movies, we're going to be like, oh, so that's why that thing happened, or oh, so that's character A's relationship to character B. So essentially seeing more of the backstory of the first series unfold is going to be very exciting, I think. I'm gonna stop the non-spoiler section here, so if you haven't watched Fantastic Beasts, then I would suggest leaving in 3, 2, 1, bye, 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 bye. Bye. So it seems like the plot of the series as a whole has to do a lot more with Grindelwald than I initially thought, which makes sense, I guess, in hindsight, because I remember I thought that the series of films was going to be about Newt just going to different countries or different continents and researching different magical creatures. And looking back on it, that doesn't really sound like a solid idea for a film franchise. So it makes sense that the series has like a main antagonist. And knowing Grindelwald's history with Dumbledore makes him a more intriguing antagonist, I think. So far, Grindelwald's motivations seem pretty similar to Voldemort's. They're just both very power-hungry dark wizards who are tired of bowing down to humans and want wizards to be superior to non-magical folk. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more distinguishing characteristics of Grindelwald's character in the future films. I was surprised at the fact that Credence was the Obscurial and not Modesty. Was Modesty her name? I don't remember. But yeah, I thought it was Modesty and then it ended up being Credence. But more surprising than that was the fact that Credence was played by Ezra Miller. I didn't even recognize him while I was watching the movie. God, a bad haircut can do so much to a person. Assuming that Credence didn't die at the end, I'm curious as to where his allegiance will lie in the future because he seems like a very sketchy character and he does have that relationship with Tina, but it's very tenuous, so I think he's still a big question mark. On a completely different note, I adore Kowalski and Queenie so much. I love them separately and I love them together. I love Kowalski. He's such a great ray of sunshine and he provides a lot of light and comedic relief to the film, which I really enjoy. I also enjoy Newt and Tina to an extent, but that's like more of a oh my god, these are Luna Lovegood's great whatever in-laws. Isn't that crazy? What would be crazy and really cool though is if Leta Lestrange came into the movies in the future because that chick sounds interesting. Plot-wise, not too much happened in the movie, but I was still thoroughly engaged. Even if it wasn't super exciting or action-filled, I think there was still a lot to look at on the screen. Namely, of course, all the different magical creatures. Some of them were so disgusting looking, but there were also a lot that were like really cute. I loved the walking little plant that was so attached to Newt and felt so betrayed when Newt tried to trade him off for information. That creature was adorable. I definitely think that this film sets up a lot for future films, which is fine because A, foundation is needed for a series of 5 films, and B, I thought the foundation itself was also entertaining and interesting. The only thing I really don't care about so far is MAC-USA, like the Magical Congress of the United States of America. I just don't like it. I think it's stupid. I don't like the lady who runs it, and it just seems like it's going to be a source of conflict in the future, not unlike how the Ministry of Magic was a source of conflict in the original Harry Potter series. Speaking of sources of conflict, I want to address this Johnny Depp thing because I remember hearing that Johnny Depp was cast as Grindelwald, and I remember hearing that a lot of Harry Potter fans were upset about it, and I had no idea why. I initially assumed that it was because people didn't like him as an actor, or that they didn't like that his movies flopped, or like I thought it was something to do with acting or movies. But then I googled it and it's because he's been accused of abusing his ex-wife. Like, what? So if that's the case, if he abused his ex-wife, then I completely understand why people are angry about this. Like, that's not okay. An abuser is not someone I want my Harry Potter franchise to be associated with. Like, ever. And if someone wants to say that someone's like personal problems shouldn't affect their professional job, then I think that's something that they should reconsider. Because like ignoring someone's crime and offering them employment despite their wrongdoings, that's essentially saying that that's okay. It's okay to commit a crime. It's okay to do this problematic stuff because that can be overlooked. And that's not how it should be. Abuse shouldn't be overlooked. And you would think that the creators of a story about a young boy who was abused for years and years and years by his uncle and aunt would understand that. But I guess not. On that note, I'm gonna wrap up this video by saying that I really enjoyed this film. I like the new characters that we meet, and I liked the setting, and I liked the story. I'd love to know if you like this movie. Or if you didn't, leave me a comment and say why, because I would love to hear everyone's opinions. So thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them day. That was bad. And happy reading. Bye. But I went home for Thanksgiving break and I got to see Fantastic Beasts with one of my... Ah! Who is it? Hi, Michaela.
What are you doing?
Recording.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Did I mess it up?
No, you're fine. That moment when a girl on your floor walks in while you're filming. She doesn't know about this channel because I don't like to talk about it to people in real life, and so I lied and I said that it was for my cinema project. It's not.